Social Security broke by 2033. Over $200 billion in Medicare cuts in 2012. No one has a viable plan to fix this. That is till now. My name's Chuck. I'm not a politician. I don't care. I don't ever want to hold office. What I am is a concerned citizen. I currently work as a registered nurse. I'm also retired from the military. I've looked at the situation and I think that I've come up with a way to fund all of the shortfalls for Social Security for decades, if not longer, to come. Okay, first thing we should do is eliminate the penny. Eliminating the penny, virtually every modern country in the world has already eliminated their version of their penny. And when we eliminate that penny, we round the transactions up, and then we use that money to fund Social Security and Medicare. And the balance of funds, at the end of each year, the balance of funds can either go into the Social Security Trust Fund, or it can be used for anything that Congress needs for an emergency at that time. If we have another Katrina, God forbid, or if we have any problems that come up, we would have a readily available pool of funds. How we come up with this is that penny costs. I looked at several different claims in cost of pennies. In 2007, Snopes said that a penny cost 1.7 cents to make. Mint.com said 1.6 cents in 2009. The US Mint.gov says that it cost us 0.93 cents to make 1 penny. So it almost cost a penny to make a penny. Okay, and they make 1 to 13 billion a year depending on the need. Now, if it costs, a penny is 10, if it takes a penny to make a penny, that's 10 to 130 million a year. But if we use the USMint.gov, we're talking about 9.3 to 120 million a year that we're going to save simply by not making the penny anymore. Okay, that's not a lot of money in government terms. But when you start looking at the rounding, when you round up, we're looking at, we round up for every 5 transactions. For if the transaction you have ends in 1 cent or 6 cents, you round up 4 cents, and you always hit on the nickel or dime, the 5 or the 0. That way, it always is going to be divisible by the nickel or the dime. Okay, now, also for that transaction, if it ends in a 5 or a 0, you would charge a nickel there. That would eliminate the potential for price manipulation to keep costs, to keep payment to the US government down. And that's because there are so many people that would love to not pay the government anything. Okay, so every transaction in every financial transaction in the United States, you would pay something. Now let's take a look at what that exactly means in money. I looked at Walmart. Walmart says they serve 1/3 of the US population every week. And when you start running the calculations, that adds up to $161 million a year that Walmart would be giving to the government. McDonald's would give $503 million. That's $500 million right there. Convenience stores would give us $1.74 billion. And this is every year we would get this money. Now this may not seem like a lot, but when you consider that this is just one. You also have Target, Kmart, Sears, you have every store in the mall, you have every restaurant in the country, you have all the convenience stores. Now what exactly does that mean? Like I said, you have retail sales, and Walmart was just one example of 161 million. Wholesale, I did not go into any examples of wholesale, But remember, anything you buy in a store came through a wholesaler. So there's another financial transaction. Utilities, I did not cover utilities at all. So there's another source to round that up to the nearest nickel or dime. So food, I estimate that we would make $1 trillion a year. Now, what would we use that trillion for? That trillion would be to offset Social Security and Medicare. Imagine, no cuts to Medicare, no cuts to Social Security. The balance of the money could be used in Medicaid, could be used to fund the Affordable Health Care Act. It could be used for almost anything. But the most important thing is that your kids get Social Security. Your grandkids get Social Security. Your great-grandkids get Social Security. We're talking about $1 trillion a year. I'd like to make sure that everybody, that if you see this and you think that just rounding up, and a couple pennies a day out of your pocket, when you talk about everybody's pocket, that's not a lot to pay for each of us. But the results will be Medicare is funded, fully funded. Social Security is fully funded. Medicaid could be fully funded. We could use it to fund Medicaid. We're talking about fixing something that nobody has a plan for. And everybody wants to ignore it. Well, if we ignore it, by 2037, Social Security will be 76% funded by your tax dollars. 2037, 4 years after it runs out of money, 76% funded by tax dollars. And we're already fighting over taxes. This is a way we can fix it now, and we don't even have to think about it for another half century. So as you get this, send it to your congressman, send it to your senators, send it to all of your friends, and have them send the links to their congressmen and their senators. Send it to everybody you can imagine. Because if we can fix Social Security, it takes it off the political table. Nobody needs to mess with it anymore. Thank you very much. I'll be putting together another video if you want it more in depth, I can put another video together, and I will probably be doing that to go into more detail. Thank you very much for your time.